I'm going to record it starting at 3:30. Right? Is that?
Swift action that Memphis leadership has taken, we again call on ourselves. We call on people of faith and goodwill across this nation. And we call on our elected leadership and police departments to commit to taking concrete action to eliminate an entrenched culture of aggression and dehumanization in policies and practices in policing, to terminate and prosecute fully officers who go rogue and the bystanders who do not intervene, and to address the ongoing needs of the families and affected communities who have to live with the trauma that they did not ask for or deserve.
This is not just a Southern problem, as we in CONECT have worked to hold the East Haven and Bridgeport police departments accountable. A culture of aggression and dehumanization in policing is real, and it must end.
There is still much work to be done, and we will continue to do this work. But for now, we speak the name again, Tyree Nichols. Let's pause now for a moment of silence to remember him, to pray for his mother, Miss Rawan Wells, for Attorney Ben Crump, who is representing the family, and for the city of Memphis.
As we begin our time together today, we invite Imam Muhammad Abdullati from the BICC to come and open us in prayer.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. واتل عليهم أو ينفعونكم أو يضرون قالوا بل وجدنا آباءنا كذلك يفعلون قال أفرأيتم ما كنتم تعبدون أنتم وآباؤكم الأقدمون فإنهم عدو لي إلا رب العالمين الذي خلقني فهو يهدين والذي هو يطعمني ويسقين وإذا مرضت فهو يشفين والذي يميتني ثم يحيين والذي أطمع أن يغفر لي خطيئتي يوم الدين رب هب لي حكما وألحقني بالصالحين. صدق الله العظيم. This is some verses God revealed on the tongue of our father Abraham. God says, and recite to them the story of Abraham. When he said to his father and his people, what do you worship? They said, we worship idols, and to them we are ever devoted. He said, do they when you call them, or do they benefit you, or do they harm you? They said, nay, but we found our fathers doing so. He told them, I worship my Lord, who has created me, and it's he who guides me, and it's he who feeds me and gives me to drink, and when I am ill, is he who cures me, and who will cause me to die and then will bring me to life again. And who I hope will give me, and I hope he will forgive all of my fault in the day of resurrection. Abraham says, my Lord, bestow religious knowledge on me, right judgment of the affairs, and join me. O our Lord, bestow religious knowledge on us, right judgment of the affairs, and join us with the righteous. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Imam, for opening us in prayer, and of course, again, for hosting us this afternoon. Connect, as Freedom Fighter, Congressman, and now ancestor John Lewis said some 10 years ago, you have to have this sense of faith that what you're moving toward is already done, that it's already happened.
John Lewis said, you have to believe and you can never, ever give up on any possibility. It's already done. You just have to find a way to make it real.
As he reflected on his speech given at the March on Washington, Congressman Lewis said, but you don't change the world, the society in a few days, and it's better. He said, it's better to be a pilot light than to be a firecracker. A firecracker just comes along and goes off. You're here one moment and you're gone the next. But if you're a pilot light, you're going to be around.
And in Connect, we know what Congressman Lewis is talking about. We have lived into that our last 11 years, and this year, 2023, is no different.
We know how to do this, Connect, because we've done this. It's about being that pilot light. We don't go out, but we're always at the ready, and it's time for action again.
The last time we gathered on October 23rd, it was election season. Now on January 29th, it's legislative season.
Last time we gathered, we received clear public commitments from the candidates.
And this time, as we gather now, it's time to work with our elected officials to move from that commitment and into action.
Let's be clear, Connect. We aren't that firecracker that Congressman Lewis talked about. We are that pilot light.
We have imagined and we can see the change we seek.
And we declare by our faith that our issue agenda is already done, and we've just come to make it real today.
And to strengthen our faith to make it real today, let's begin by celebrating how CONECT and leaders right here from BICC have made real the inclusion of the Eid holiday in the Fairfield school calendar. BICC leaders.
Assalamu alaikum. May peace be upon all of you. My name is Yusuf Sayal, and I'm a member of the Bridgeport Islamic Community Center. I want to share some exciting news, but before I do that, a quick story. I migrated to this country back in 1989 from Pakistan and attended my first school in Bridgeport. Take this off. As a child, all I wanted to do was fit in and have other kids accept me for my differences. It wasn't easy. I clearly remember at the end of the month of Ramadan, when we finished fasting, my parents would write a note to school so I can take that day off and celebrate my religious holiday. Well, 30 plus years later, and now living in Fairfield, I was doing the same thing for my kids. Until we as a community decided that it's time to stand up for ourselves and ask the Fairfield Board of Ed that we Muslims deserve to be off during our holy day as well. We wanted the same inclusivity that was given to others around us. We knew this was a tough task and we couldn't do it alone. So the entire community, along with the strong allies through CONECT, came to support us on this journey and played an instrumental role Because of that, we won. So thank you to all once again, and a special shout out to Connect. Our holiday will be recognized a day off on the Fairfield Public School calendar. Finally, I want to end by thanking our Lord, Allah the Almighty, who was with us all along. Thank you so much.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. It's an honor to be here today, surrounded by everyone here. Just echoing what Brother Yusuf said, you know, we couldn't have done this without Connect. We couldn't have done this without the community support. It's exciting that now we're not stopping. This is not the end. This is the beginning. And, you know, our efforts are underway in Trumbull. Stanford just passed Eid al-Fitr, and we are now getting ready to support the statewide effort with the bill from Senator Anwar to celebrate Eid and other holidays on a state level. So we look forward to your support there. And thank you, everyone, for being there for us.
Assalamu alaikum and hello to everyone. My name is Mustafa Sayal and I attend Fairfield Ludlow High School. As a Muslim high schooler, I am incredibly grateful for the Board of Education giving us the day of Eid off and recognizing the importance of the holiday. As is given off, this decision not only shows the respect for the Muslim community, but also it has a significant impact on the young Muslims like myself who are trying to navigate and understand our identities in a country such as America. Furthermore, the decision by the Board of Education will also help educate our non-Muslim classmates, peers, and teachers about our beautiful religion and the significance of Eid in our faith. It will also promote the understanding of respect for all cultures and religions, which is vital in creating a harmonious and inclusive school community. For young Muslims like myself, I feel like it's not always easy to find our place in the American society, but this decision by the Board of Education sends a powerful message that we are valued and respected members of the community. It helps us feel more included and accepted. And it also helps us in the journey of finding our identity. I would like to express my deepest gratitude to this community and Connect for all their support. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lena Canucci. For those of you who don't already know me, I'm a junior at Fairfield Ludlow High School and a proud member of the Bridgeport Islamic Community Center. It is truly such an honor to be here once again today. And I want to take this opportunity to reiterate not just the appreciation that the Muslim community deems on behalf of Eid's addition to the calendar, but also reinforce the importance of this on future generations in our community as a whole. Having made this effort, we are creating an environment where community members and students are more inclined and motivated to contribute to society and essentially thrive, knowing that they belong and are respected and welcome. I strongly believe that life only changes when you are more committed to your dreams than you are to your comfort zone. And with that, I want to thank all of you, the Board of Ed, our community, and most importantly, Connect, for all of your dedication and support and for being more committed to this dream, our dream, than to our standard and our norm. Thank you and have a great afternoon.
Thank you again to our leaders here at BICC. Like we told you, we are a people of faith and we are a people of power. And that's not just something we say to get a reaction, but this is something that we understand and build to take action.
And here at Connect, we know what power is and we know how to build it.
So Connect, what is power? Say it with me if you know it. Organized people plus organized money equals power. And to demonstrate this power that we build as we do in Connect, it's time for a roll call.
We do roll calls to be mutually accountable to the commitments we made for this assembly and to experience the diverse collective power that is Connect.
These commitments aren't just rhetoric, but these commitments are deeply relational.
These commitments are about our presence, how we show up for each other, And these commitments are about our values, how we put our money where our mouths and our hearts are.
So every congregation, whether large or small, and every dues pledge, whether large or small, are all important as we build our collective power.
So connect, who are we? Who is here this afternoon?
Hello, I'm Jackie Page from First Church Congregational, and I'm proud to say we have 6 people here in person and 3 on Zoom.
My name is Yusuf Zayal. I am from the Bridgeport Islamic Community Center. We have over 40 people here in person and over Zoom. We pledged 2,400 in dues to connect for 2023.
I'm Christine Pelfrey from Holy Trinity Lutheran in Trumbull. We are here with 5 people and we pledge $1,000 in pledges this year.
Hi, I'm Mary Ellen Hagedis from St. Paul's Episcopal Church in Fairfield. We have 7 people here today and 3 on Zoom. And we pledge $4,500 in dues to connect in 2023. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Rita Scott. I'm a member of First Church Congregational Fairfield, but I'm here today to represent the Council of Churches of Greater Bridgeport. We have 2 members here in person, and we pledge $3,000 for 2023.
I'm Beth Lazar from Congregation B'nai Israel in Bridgeport, Connecticut. We have 15 people here and we pledge $8,000.
Good afternoon. My name is Phil Kent from Congregation Mishkan Israel in Hamden. We have 14 people in attendance in person and on Zoom, and we pledge $5,000.
Greetings, namaste. The divinity in me salutes the divinity in you. I am Lulu Samzalan, and I'm a disciple in Mount Airy Baptist Church, where Reverend Anthony Bennett is our pastor. We have 15 people here today, and we pledge $6,000 for 2025.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sarah Menard. I'm a member of the Evangelical Baptist Church of New Jerusalem, a Haitian American congregation here in Bridgeport, Connecticut. And we have 4 people present with us here today, and we pledge $500 in dues to connect for 2023.
Hi, my name is Rick Kamyats. I worship with St. John's Episcopal Church in Bridgeport. We have 6 people between here and Zoom, and we'd like to commit $1,000 to the Connect cause this year.
Hi, my name is Peggy Hodgkins. I'm from Trinity Episcopal Church in Southport. And we have 4 people here today, and we commit at least $2,000, hopefully more, after our meeting next week.
My name is David Levy, representing Temple Israel in Westport. There are 13 of us who are registered, most of us on Zoom. And in 2023, we pledge $18,000 for the cause.
I'm Rabbi Michael Farbman from Temple Emmanuel of Greater New Haven.
And we have 6 members here and are pledging $2,000 for this year.
And this is Alana Rosenberg.
Good afternoon. My name is Jeff Hopper. I'm with the United Church on the Green in New Haven. We have 10 members here today in person and on Zoom, and we are pledging $10,000 to connect for 2023.
Good afternoon. My name is Jack O'Melia. I'm from St. Jerome Catholic Church in Norwalk, and we have at least 12 people either here or online. And we pledge a minimum of 3,000. We're hoping for 4,000. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Sherwin Coblin. I'm from Congregation Bethel in Norwalk, Connecticut. And we're pledging 1,500 this coming year.
Hello, I'm Rabbi Jason Greenberg, also from Norwalk, Temple Shalom. And we have 4 people with us today, and we pledge 2,500 in 2023.
Hi, I'm Wilma Bethea from Community Baptist Church in New Haven,
And we have 10 members here and we're pledging 3,500 for this year.
Hi, my name is Ian Scott from Spring Glen Church, UCC in Hamden. 11 people here on Zoom. The big news is that we've increased our pledge from 3,500 last year to $5,000 for 2023.
My name is Jessica Rodriguez. I'm a leader of St. Rose of Lima Catholic Church in Meriden. We have 11 members with us here today, along with our invited guests, Representative Hilda Santiago and Senator Jan Hockendahl. We pledged $4,000 in dues to Connect for 2023, and we have a check for $2,000 to kick off a good year of power and action together.
My name is Sophie Krakowski. I'm from the Unitarian Society of New Haven. We have 24 members present and virtual. We are pledging $7,000 for fiscal year 2023.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm here from Faith Factor Education, and we have 15 people in the building from churches from Bridgeport, New Haven, and Hartford.
All right, let's give it up for all of our Connect members in the room. And if there is anyone with us online that we did not mention, please put that in the chat and we will report that out later. So now let's hear who else is with us this afternoon. We are grateful to have several allies and guest institutions and congregations. The ACLU of Connecticut, Faith Acts, which we just heard for education, St. Luke's, St. Paul Episcopal Church, Interfaith Volunteer Caregivers of Greater New Haven, Humanists and Free Thinkers of Fairfield County, Comunidades Infantiles, Baha'i Faith Group, St. Paul VI Catholic Parish Hamden, Christ Church Easton, and Yale Divinity School.
We are likewise excited to welcome our elected leaders among us. We are excited to welcome Senator Bob Duff, our Majority Leader, Senator Gary Winfield, the Judiciary Co-Chair on Zoom, Senator Saud Anwar, the Public Health Co-Chair, Representative Jeff Curry, Education Co-Chair, Representative Marcus Brown, the new Bridgeport Representative, Senator Heron Gaston, also the new Bridgeport Senator, Senator Jan Hockendahl from the new Meriden Senator and AFT President, Senator Ceci Mahir, Representative Jennifer Leeper, and Senator MD Rahman from Glastonbury. We are so excited to have all of our elected officials with us this afternoon.
Our allies, guests, public officials, and you, Connect leaders, we are here.
And we've built our power.
Now let's take action and make it real with concrete change.
So now, without further ado, we invite our leaders from the mental health care issue team to come forward to the stage now and share. We will hear from Reverend Odell Cooper, from Mr. Kevin Muhammad, and from Miss Rena Kaur on video.
How's this? Okay. Good evening. I'm Reverend Odell Cooper, and I am representing women diagnosed with mental health, not because we're women. We heard hundreds of stories and concerns about mental health during our House meeting campaign, 214 to be exact. After years of pandemic disruption, isolation, loss, stress, this crisis is no longer quiet or unmentioned. While the crisis requires many solutions, CONNECT has started by working with a number of allies in one particular piece that is missing here in Connecticut. Providing safe and appropriate space for police, non-police responders, and family members to take loved ones in acute mental health crisis. What you might call a third place, this is not prison, where illness is too often criminalized and people don't get the care that they need. And this is not the emergency room, where too often people wait for hours or days in crowded, noisy, chaotic conditions only to be sent home with vague plans for follow-up care.
or no care at all. These two places, prisons and the ER, are the most expensive places, and they do not have the best outcome. We can do better. Now let us hear from Kevin Muhammad about one of these places we call the third places.
Greetings. My name is Kevin Muhammad. I'm a licensed mental health clinician. Recently, we were able to provide crisis intervention for a man that could have easily and unnecessarily ended up in jail because of his past criminal record, or in the hospital feeling even more isolated. For the sake of anonymity and confidentiality, I will call him Joe. Joe was in his early 40s and had a disagreement with his girlfriend. There were no signs of domestic violence, but the police were called. Joe left the house and struggled all day at work. Joe was previously diagnosed with a personality disorder. He had previously attended a session of Black Men in Trauma, a therapy group created by GBAP to address generational and urban trauma within African-American males. Joe came to GBAP when he knowing there were mental health clinicians that he could speak to. So much that he felt that no one else to turn to. GBAP's trauma-informed care so that a person can feel safe, valued, unjudged, and humanized. He opened up to me and told me that he had previously been diagnosed with a personality disorder. He told me of a situation he experienced where a Caucasian therapist called the cops, and later it led him to get arrested and he went to jail. I could see and feel the high level of traumatization he underwent as he shared his experience. According to Joe, he had a previous felony on his record, has not been in any legal or criminal issues for the past 10 years. He was afraid that the police would send him back to prison. Joe became my client in the fall of 2021 and has consistently received treatment through GBAP and is doing well. He will be terminated soon for completing his long-term treatment goals. Joe now lives independently, is an accomplished musician, reconciled relationships with his family, and is living a productive life. This all happened because in the midst of crisis, Joe was able to receive trauma-informed care at the hands of mental health clinicians that could come up with a crisis intervention plan and follow up with aftercare. Jail and hospital stay are more costly than true mental health crisis intervention. They are even more costly to the self-worth, dignity, and life fulfillment of the unnecessary people who are subjected to these two alternatives. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Reena Kaur from Norwalk, Gurdwara. I'm here to talk about third places. The good news is third places do exist, and they are very successful, just not here in Connecticut. One model is Crisis Stabilization Center. Those are equipped with psychologists, psychiatrists, and social workers. They do exist and they're up and running in Chicago, Cleveland, and Illinois, and elsewhere. Another model is peer respite centers. Those exist in New York, Massachusetts, and 12 other states. Peer-run respite centers are actually run by people who have lived experiences with mental illnesses, were certified and trained to help other people with mental illnesses. It is time that Connecticut invest in these innovative third places to help our communities address the mental health crisis and also treat them with humane and effective way. Recently, we were excited to learn that Continuum of Care, a non-profit agency from New Haven, is developing a pilot crisis receiving center that could actually be underway less than $2 million in state funding. We believe this investment will make work of law enforcement easier to help reduce the criminalization and harm too often that is results without them. Thank you so much.
Thank you to all of our mental health care issue team leaders. Again, we are so excited to have with us today Senator Saud Anwar, who is co-chair of the Public Health Committee. We invite you to come forward at this time. Help us give a warm CONECT welcome to the Senator. Senator, we have so appreciated working with you on important issues in the past, such as clean slate and race, ethnicity, and language data. Can we count on you to work with us to build support for and find state funds to pilot these missing third places for people in mental health crisis?
So before I say yes,
okay,
I think it's worthy to talk a little bit about this, if you would allow me. First, I wanted to say I'm so honored to be part of this conversation. You know, a lot of people say that the congregations, the faith communities can serve as the moral compass of a society. Connect with your actions, you're showing this. So thank you so much for taking on these very difficult issues. Our state has many challenges, and sometimes these challenges may be because of planned design or unplanned design, if you will. But with respect to the mental health, we have many challenges that we have. Before I even say anything, I wanted to remind my co-chair, Representative Kristen McCarthy, is on her way from Washington, D.C., and then she has had traffic-related issues, so she could not be here, so she sends her regrets. But she's mentioned that we will be working together on this issue for sure, so that's going to be one of our priorities. But last year, the House and the Senate, we had 3 bills. Oh, 1 minute. Okay, boy, I was going to solve all the problems. Last year we were able to have 3 bills: Senate Bill 1, Senate Bill 2, and we also had House Bill 5001. We had $300 million that were spent on mental health. They are getting implemented as we speak. In January 1st is some of the implementation. In October, some of the implementation had started. We started a line, crisis line 988. That is a line that's active since October. It was actually even active before that, and a website, which is www.988lifeline.org. With working with DEMIS, we have created a system which will allow mobile health crisis units. People call 988 and a mobile unit will come with a licensed clinician, peer navigator, psychologist to be able to help out. And that has recently been implemented. We have not seen the results of that because we wanted to spread it across the state and across all times. In other words, we wanted it to be 24/7 in all parts of the state. We have put the resources into it. I want to make sure that we maximize the potential. And also it's worthy to have a conversation on this because I've looked at the published data from Illinois. It is very promising to look at the crisis centers that you're talking about. So I look forward to working with you, but we have to make sure that we don't stop something that we have initiated in intensity and worked on. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes. And Senator Anwar, we are very grateful for your support and for your thoughtful consideration of funds that are already dedicated. At the same time, we do know that when people are in levels of distress that need more 24-hour care, right now it is just the emergency department or a jail. And so we're wondering if you would be willing to support the exploration of a pilot third space with us.
Yes, it is already on our opioid bill.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you again so much to our mental health care issue team and to Senator Anwar and to Representative McCarthy. Forgive me, if you will, charge it to my head and not my heart. There are 2 very important people whose names I did not call and did not welcome, and that is not the CONECT way. So allow me, if you will, to welcome Representative Hilda Santiago and Representative Antonio Felipe to our assembly this afternoon. Welcome to you both. Thank you for being with us this afternoon. Now, CONECT family, as we've heard from our leaders and as we have heard from our senator, we need your commitment and participation as well. So we're going to be checking in throughout the assembly. There's a QR code printed on your agenda, and we need you to scan that code to make your commitment today. We have a goal of raising 100 new people by the end of our assembly this afternoon. And there are 3 levels of participation that you could commit to today.
You could be a leader joining the team, the mental health team that we have heard thus far. You could be an action taker, someone who might be available for some special meetings locally or up at Hartford. You could be a supporter, someone who's able to make phone calls, send emails and texts, and spread the word to family and friends and community members.
So again, we're going to be giving you updates on our progress toward reaching this goal of 100 folks to sign up to volunteer as we commit throughout this assembly.
Let's commit together to make it real. And now we turn our attention to the education issue team.
Good afternoon, everyone.
No.
My name is Melanie Lee, a member of Mount Airy Baptist Church and the chair of CONECT's education team. I am a retired teacher, having served 25 years in New York City public schools. After applying for Connecticut certification and not getting it, I have yet to understand why there are still so many teacher shortages throughout Connecticut, with many teachers like myself sitting on the sidelines caught up in bureaucratic bondage. In Connecticut, only 9.7% of all teachers are people of color, while 47%, really 48.3% to be exact, of students statewide are children of color. Even with incentives to bring in teachers from other areas of the country, the ones right here are overlooked, overshadowed, and overwhelmed. This is just a system of a larger challenge, our massively unequal system of funding education. Please let me remind you of why we are here. In 1977, the Connecticut Supreme Court ruled that a system of school financing that relied on local property tax revenues without regard to disparities in town wealth and that lacked significant equalizing state support was unconstitutional. 45 years later, we have seen many plans and formulas come and go, but very little real progress. Schools are at the mercy of a complex and inequitable educational funding program weighing too heavily on local property taxes. This continues to impact students, parents, teachers, and communities across Connecticut, creating massive, disturbing disparities. Students and teachers are being shifted to different, unfamiliar settings to address a teacher shortage that has been obvious since September. Today, Connecticut spends $750 million more to educate white children each year than it does to educate Black and brown children. Our education team knows these are essential times in the lives of our children. Coming back from the pandemic, there is no substitute for quality instructional time to make up for learning loss. We need to invest in more teachers, more paraprofessionals, smaller class sizes, consistently over many years to do right by our children. Let's hear from Claudine Wilkins from Community Baptist about her experience.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Claudine Wilkins Chambers. I'm a member of Community Baptist Church in New Haven and a member of the Education Committee with CONECT. I worked and currently worked as a paraprofessional in New Haven Public School System for 50 years. For decades, I have assisted teachers with social, emotional, and education development of our children. I am upset by teacher shortage in New Haven, Bridgeport, and Hartford. Along with the teacher shortage throughout the state, I am deeply frustrated by the disproportionate racial breakdown of Black and brown teachers and our students of color. This year's proposed bill number 5003 would specifically fund 4 Black and brown school districts with the funds to build a diverse and effective teacher workforce. I'm ready to pass the torch to the next generation of teachers and paraprofessionals, but without these funds, I'm very worried that our teacher shortage will only grow larger. Equitable fair funding for public education will significantly address teacher shortages, social services, tuition support, and increased mental health support in our schools. We would also be able to significantly address the serious truancy problem. We must invest in our children at a very early age, because if not, as they get older, their self-esteem falls short, then it becomes a very serious problem. After all, children are our future. The full funding of our Black, brown, and poor school districts would positively impact paraprofessionals and teachers and support staff to support the learning and development of all students and close the learning gap identified by COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you.
Oops, wait. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Claudine, for sharing your story and for your dedication to your students. We are also excited to have Bishop Diamond from Cathedral of Faith from Faith Acts for Education with us today to say a few words. Bishop Diamond.
I'm sorry, folks. COVID is still around. I had it twice and neither time was it fun. So good afternoon. I'm John Diamond. I'm an ordained bishop with the Church of God and going on my 13th year as the senior pastor at Cathedral of Faith in Bridgeport. I'm also a co-founder for Faith Acts for Education. It's an honor and a privilege to stand with our CONECT partners as people of faith fighting for a Connecticut that better serves all people. I'm here today to speak in particular about fair education funding. We began this work at Faith Acts nearly 8 years ago with the dream of making sure every child receives a world-class education. Every child should grow up with the tools they need to be gainfully employed, take care of their family, and fulfill their God-given potential. And so we fight. We fight for equitable opportunities. We fight for funding for the disinherited, for the disenfranchised, and for our Black and brown low-income people who our systems have never adequately served. We fight against systems not built to help us, and we fight for our children and for necessary change. That fight has been going on across years and decades. This year, change can come. This year, change must come. On Friday, this coming Friday, the Education and Appropriations Committees will consider House Bill 5003, an act concerning education funding in Connecticut. We are fortunate to have among us the distinguished elected representatives in attendance, Representative Jeff Curry, co-chair of the Education Committee and champion of this landmark bill. We are also fortunate to have with us Senator Bob Duff, whose work on behalf of children resulted in vital changes to education funding in 2017, and who, as Majority Leader of the Senate, has made this year's top Senate priority bill focused on education. We are deeply grateful to you both. House Bill 5003 can finally put an end to the long-standing inequity and funding injustice that is pervasive in Connecticut's education system. It can end the racist and classist practice of allowing our state to spend more than $750 million more on educating white children than Black and brown children and students of color. It can make sure all kids, regardless of where they live, or what type of public school they go to can have the fair funding they need, and it makes sure our kids' education is properly funded when our federal COVID relief dollars runs out. Thank you so much. It's time to fund one education system for all Connecticut kids. It's time to do right by our children. Thank you, everyone. May the Lord Jesus Christ bless you all.
Thank you, Bishop Diamond, for being with us today. We appreciate your leadership and Faith Act's leadership on this issue over the many years now. Thank you all so much. The good news is that we can fix this unequal, unconstitutional funding system, and money is no excuse this time. Connecticut is sitting on more than a $3 billion surplus. Just 15% of that surplus, about $450 million, would fully fund House Bill 5003, which would fully fund our largely Black and brown and poor school districts. This funding is crucial in addressing teacher recruitment and retention, classroom support, social services, and curriculum development. Now, we are excited to hear briefly from a few legislative champions on this issue. How can we work together with you to get this unfair, unconstitutional system fixed once and for all? I call Representative Jeff Curry is to the floor. Yes, thank you. Yes. How are you?
Good afternoon, everyone. First and foremost, thank you very much for allowing me in your space today to be able to talk about this very important issue impacting the entire state of Connecticut. As mentioned, House Bill 5003 will have an info forum on Wednesday as far as where education funding is now. And then on Friday, we will have a joint public hearing. So for those interested, all those agendas are up. So please go online, sign up, submit testimony. That is being done in person and virtually. So you can do that from the comfort of your bedroom, of your couch, wherever you find comfort in your own homes. But what we're looking to do is once and for all, building upon the successes that started back in 2017, and a huge shout out and thanks to Senator Duff, who's with us today, for his work on that. We are going to take 11 disjointed funding systems and turn that into one simple funding system that funds all of our public schools, regardless of their type. That is our traditionals, our magnets, and our charter schools. And the reason why this is so important and important right now is because right in Connecticut, we're at a moment. This is a moment for education, and it is our mission, myself, my vice chair, Jennifer Leeper, and all of those on the education committee to really make education matter the most this legislative session. We have an administration who hasn't really focused on K-12 education during his first term. And so we're taking it upon ourselves, and with your help, further and better educate him as to why education is so important and why we must fix this problem now. Because guess what? In fiscal year 25, all of your schools and your communities are going to simply just turn to us and say, we have no more money left when that federal dollar is dried up. That Fed money came in and provided the necessary support staff, resources, programs that your districts already should have had before COVID. And this is simply just going to allow them to continue to provide those supports, those services to the students most at need. Right now, we are graduating 67% of our children out of schools that are underfunded and under-resourced. And that should never be happening, especially in the state of Connecticut, where it's cute to say we have the second greatest public school system in the country. But guess what? You can say that standing in Fairfield, but walk a few feet across the border into Bridgeport and tell me that same story. So with your help, please, please, please use your voice, whatever you have to really come out, show your support, get in touch with the administration as often as you can, your respective legislators, senators, and please, please, please don't let this go. This has to happen this legislative session, and this will happen this legislative session. Thank you. Thank you.
I liked what he said. It was I'd like to also call up Representative Jennifer Leeper, who is here. She is the Vice Chair of the Education Committee. And then following her will be Representative Antonio Felipe.
Hi, I'm Rep. Jennifer Leeper from Fairfield. So thank you so much for welcoming us all, bringing us together. And also congratulations to the Bridgeport Islamic community for your advocacy and successful addition of Eid to the Fairfield school calendar. I really respect an efficient meeting, so I will be quite brief. I don't think I have so much to add from what Representative Curry said, but I am so grateful that CONECT has made 5003 one of the bills you're going to really put all of your power and might behind, because I have had the privilege to witness what that means. And it means a really good chance of us getting this over the finish line and ensuring that we don't have historically and persistently underfunded schools, the same schools year over year, so that every child has access to an adequately funded, more than adequately funded and appropriately funded public school, so that they can achieve social mobility and have all of the appropriate opportunities available to them. I also was instructed to mention we will also be looking at certification this year, because we know we have a desperate teacher shortage. And many talented people that we would be lucky to have in our schools. So finding ways to encourage them and alternative routes to certification is something we're looking at and taking very seriously. Thank you. Thank you.
Representative Antonio Felipe will be coming. He is a member of both the Education and Appropriations Committees.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Good afternoon. I am proud to also be the co-chair of our budget subcommittee on education. And what's so important about that is that education is an economic issue. When we talk about now the surplus that we had that she just spoke about, how much money that we have at our disposal, that is only because of the influx of federal funds that we've gotten recently, but also what has been done with our workforce and our training and making sure that people are ready to enter the real world. And what does that better than K through 12 education? We're going to make sure that this year our budget has the necessary holes in it, so Jeff Curry can fill them as well as he can to make sure that we have properly funded education, but also raising our concentrated poverty and our multi-language weights on our students, basically making sure that our English language learners and our economically distressed get all the time that they need, all the money that they need to make sure that we're doing the best for them. But to make sure that we have a budget surplus going forward, we need to educate our children. I'm dedicated to doing that. I hope to see you all on Wednesday and Friday. And let's get this done. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We are also glad to have several other state representatives and senators here today, especially the newly elected Senator Jan Hockadell from Meriden. Is she there? There she is in the back. Welcome. She is also the president of the American Federation of Teachers in Connecticut, representing 30,000 teachers and other workers. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. We hope you all will join us in this fight as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much again to our education team, Melanie Lee, and all of our electeds for leading this charge to finally and fairly fund our schools. So you've heard 2 out of the 3 issues we are discussing this afternoon, which means in just a few moments, we should be reaching our goal of raising again 100 leaders to help us move this issue agenda forward.
And you just heard some specific ways this coming week that you can take action. So if you are able to be a supporter or an action taker for education or a leader on the team, please fill out and sign up right now.
Again, thank you so much. And we now invite our criminal legal reform issue team to the stage.
Good afternoon. My name is Phil Kent of Congregation Mishkan Israel in Hamden, and I help chair the Criminal Legal Reform Team along with my fellow leaders, Rodney Moore and Dawn Grant Lockley, who could not be with us today. She's not feeling well, so please send your prayers to her. Working with many community and legislative allies, CONECT won the passage of Clean Slate in 2021. Yeah. Yeah. Which was to be fully implemented on January 1st of 2023. Just before Thanksgiving, the Lamont administration revealed that Clean Slate would only be partially implemented in regards to marijuana convictions for about 44,000 people. In addition, the administration issued a form to petition the court for those with pre-2000 record or convictions that predate electronic records. The majority of the law, however, is delayed until mid to late 2023 due to technical issues with automating the erasures of convictions. And so we stand here together on a fairly warm January day in the tension of community organizing, still seeking the justice promised by our Clean Slate law. We remember, especially this month, the words of Dr. King, who said, "True peace is not merely the absence of tension, it is the presence of justice."
Mhm.
And to share more with you, I introduce my friend and fellow chair, Rodney Moore.
Thank you, Phil. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Rodney Moore, and I'm a member of Great Love Temple Church of the Living God International in Bridgeport, Connecticut. And I'm also the co-chair of the tri-chair of the Criminal Legal Reform Team. Now, back in November of 22, our legislative champions, Senator Gary Winfield and Representative Steve Staffsom, received a letter from the Judicial Branch and Governing Board of the Criminal Justice Information System, which outlined technical concerns with Clean Slate. Now, the letter related largely to how to define the completion of someone's sentence and how to deal with the classification and treatment of certain offenses. As a result, like our sister state of Pennsylvania did when it passed Clean Slate in 2018, we are now working on legislative language to fix gaps in the original Clean Slate law. We want these technical fixes to make Clean Slate work as soon as possible for as many people as possible, so we do not have any eligible person left behind. We will help define what completion of a sentence means so that the most people possible can break down barriers to employment, housing, and education. Seek stronger notice requirements with teeth so that third-party data buyers not only get timely notice, but are required to comply with the law so that people whose records are erased can be more confident that they got the benefit promised by Clean Slate. You can clap if you want to. And now I turn it back to my friend and tri-chair, Mr. Phil Kent, and he is going to tell us why we will hold the governor to his promise in October 2022 to fully fund a Clean Slate implementation office.
Thank you. Thank you. The delay in implementing Clean Slate on time means that right now, 250,000 people who should have gotten an erasure of their criminal record on day one must now wait again for at least 6 to 9 more months to climb out of second-class status in Connecticut. The sooner the technical issues are addressed in this legislative session, the sooner our brothers and sisters can start to rebuild their lives with access to better jobs, more stable housing, and more opportunities to return to higher education.
That's right.
Yeah. We know that this helps people personally, but also it helps their families, their communities, and every Connecticut resident, because we know that Clean Slate dramatically reduces future crime rates. Rodney?
Yes. So how do we make sure that the benefits of Clean Slate are working as intended? We do exactly what Governor Moore promised CONECT at our assembly in October 2022. All of us here today need to make sure that in this legislative session, the Lamont administration fully funds a clean slate implementation office with $3 million over the next 4 years. Yeah. No one who is eligible for clean slate should fall through the cracks. If someone needs help with the clean slate problem, they need good people in the government who will help them achieve their clean slate. And now, to tell you about his journey and the importance of clean slate in his own words, I give to you my friend, Mr. Sherman Edwards.
Good afternoon. My name is Sherman Edwards. I'm from New Haven, Connecticut. I've been convicted of a felony in 1991. I served my time. I finished my parole. I thought that everything to do with my conviction ended on my last day since that supervision in 2002. Since then, however, it's been extremely difficult trying to, work and find a good job for myself and also with my family as well. I'm a father of 5 children under the age of 7. And because of my record, I've been struggling, working odd jobs, several hour jobs and under the table jobs, whatever I could do to maintain. Excuse me, I'm a little nervous. I've been struggling, working several hour jobs, trying to make things done for my kids to get what they need, their tablets, their clothes to go to school, the pampers and stuff like that. So it's been very hard for me. I was hoping that 2023 would be a good year with clean slate would open new doors for me, and find full-time jobs and benefit for me so I could be able to raise my family, take on my responsibility as a father, But now that since clean slate, is delayed, my opportunity has gone away. I had paid my dues to society and I should be able to have, equal opportunity just like any other Connecticut citizen.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
As long as clean slate is delayed, I have to keep on hoping that one day that some employee somewhere will open up their heart and give me an opportunity, so I can get that full-time job and take care of my family like any other person would like to do with their family. Thank you.
Thank you, Sherman. So to the legislators here today, we ask that you work with CONECT and our allies to make sure that clean slate gets done right and gets done this year so that families who depend on people like Sherman can better support themselves and help build a better community for everyone. And to the rest of you who are here today with us in person and on Zoom, we ask you to call and write and show up with your legislators. Stay on top of getting clean slate done in full so that the greatest number of people get this opportunity for a better future as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, please show your appreciation for Senator Gary Winfield, who will share a few words. We thank you for being here, and we wish you a speedy recovery with what you're going through right now as well. Thank you.
Thank you all. I wish I could be there with you. I'm just immobile right now. I know that a lot of people are disappointed about the implementation of Clean Slate. What I want you to know is there's a conversation going on. It's not just between myself and my co-chair and the governor, but CONECT is in that conversation. We're making sure that the things that we believed were important are part of that conversation and the way in which we answer the questions that have been posed to us. I just want to take you back a little bit to remind you what we did in Connecticut so you understand part of the reason why it's so complicated. Clean Slate hasn't been implemented everywhere. But when we decided we were going to do it, I was intent upon us making sure that we didn't just do the easiest thing to do, but to also include those who had felony convictions. That was a fight, but thank you to CONECT for being there. We actually made that occur. But Connecticut was an antiquated place with antiquated systems, and that's true everywhere across the board. And so it's become difficult. But I want you to know the governor has been made aware that this is not a delay that turns into infinity. This is a delay that we intend to get a fix to this year and get those people who we found relief for to get that relief. And then at some point in the future, get relief for everybody else, because we haven't finished. And so I just want to thank you for the work you've done. Remind you all that we still need pressure to be put on those of us in office, because sometimes it becomes really easy to not finish that fight. So thank you for that.
Awesome. Thank you so much to our criminal legal reform team. And thank you again to Senator Winfield and to Representative Staffstrom for being our champions for so many years in this very important issue. Thank you.
So we're not done yet. Now that you've heard all three issues, let's move quickly this afternoon to reach our goal of 100 people becoming involved. And we know we can do it because we have 175 people here in the room today. We have 117 on Zoom for a total of 292 people. Let's celebrate that. So what are you called to do? Clean slate, mental health, education, all three issues. Please use that form. Sign up now.
So what is our goal? How many leaders do we want to raise? We currently have 39 so far, so we've got some work to do. Now, y'all know I'm a Baptist preacher. We'll lock the doors in a minute till we get our goal. Amen. I have no problem doing that this afternoon. I ain't got nothing else to do today. Praise the Lord. But it's up to you. Point to your neighbor. Say it's up to you.
It's up to you.
That was the wrong neighbor. Point at your other neighbor and tell me it's up to you.
It's up to you.
To do your commitment, to build our power, to do what we're talking about this afternoon, to make this real. We know that taking action to make it real takes power. So we are so grateful this afternoon to have Senator Duff, the majority leader for our state Senate, with us this afternoon. We invite you forward now at this time. Thank you. And welcome once again to Connect.
So Senator.
I have questions. Good afternoon,
Yes.
everybody.
Yes. Yes, we're so grateful for the ongoing relationship we have with you. And you play such an important role. And you certainly understand how power works. We understand how power works. And we are a people of power. So will you support the issues that you have heard this afternoon?
These are great issues, and of course, I will support these issues. Want me to expand? All right. So I get a chance to expand. That's great. I also want to make sure that we all know that there's a number of us in the legislature who are supporting another issue, which is equally as important, I believe, which is housing for folks. We've got to deal with housing, and that is such an important issue for us all across the state of Connecticut. In fact, we have 100,000 job openings, which is why clean slate implementation is so important. We have 100,000 job openings, which is why we have to deal with affordable housing, which is so important, which is why we have to deal with education funding, because we have to have the workforce in order to fill those jobs. So that's important. Mental health, of course, that is important, because what we're seeing is police resources. We're seeing other resources being used that don't need to be used. We're seeing kids who are struggling all the time because we have this system that is siloed, where people can't get the resources they need because they can't afford that. The state's not paying the providers enough money as well. So all these things are so important for the quality of life that we have here in Connecticut, which is why I know, Reverend, we will have 100 people here today to help, because we cannot do this alone. We had some great speakers. We have wonderful legislators here who have spoken, who are still here, dispersed amongst the audience, who care so deeply about these issues.
And this is why we run for office, but we cannot do it alone. We cannot do it alone because there are so many wants, so many asks, so many needs. There's only so much time in the legislative session, and only through the army that we have with CONECT can we get the things done that we need to get done. We have moved so far in such a short time with CONECT on so many issues that are important. So don't leave here frustrated that things aren't done. Leave here fulfilled that so much has been done that we can continue to get good things moving forward year after year after year to make Connecticut the envy of the nation on so many of these important issues. So keep it up, keep fighting, keep doing what you're doing, and let's get those 100 folks. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you again so much, Senator Duff. And we look forward to our meeting with you on February 7th to continue this critical conversation as we move forward.
So we are making progress. We are up to 58. 2 days ago, we met with Governor Lamont's chief of staff, and we have a commitment to meet with the governor by the end of February. Today, we have asked for and received commitments and support from all of our legislators. So CONECT, you are the crucial piece. As Senator Duff just said, we do this together.
So it's go time. It's go time. So as soon as this coming Friday, February 3rd, there's a hearing that you can go to in person. You can submit written testimony. Please, ma'am, please, sir, watch your emails to get the how-to details for that. Again, we are hoping to reach our goal. We're declaring it's already done, like we did at the beginning of our assembly today, of raising 100 people to help make this issue agenda real in our state. Again, you can find that QR code on the bottom of your agenda, scan it with your smart device. You can fill it out here. If you're on Zoom with us, I'm sure someone has put the link in the chat. Please click on that link and let's commit together. It's going to take all of us, not just our electeds, but each and every one of us working together to do this. This is what democracy looks like. Amen?
Amen.
Amen. So where are we now? We're up to 63. Now, y'all don't want me to start singing. Community knows how I do. Amen. We want to get to 100. We are almost there. 65. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Ask your neighbor, did you fill out your commitment card? Ask your neighbor, did you fill out your commitment card? This is called a response. If they said no, ask them what you're waiting for. You need a phone? I can help you. Who needs a phone? Where are we at now, Matt? 66. We're going to give y'all 2 more minutes. We can make this happen. We can make this happen. Who in here is signed up for the mental health team? Raise your hands high. Help me celebrate all those who signed up for the mental health care team. Who signed up for the education team? Awesome. Look at all these new leaders. Wonderful. Wonderful. We need you this week. Who is signed up for the criminal legal reform team? Awesome. 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 Again, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. And we will reach our goal. We're at 73 now, but I'm going to go ahead and call 74. Keep them rolling in. Keep them rolling in, folks. Keep them rolling in. I want to call now for our closing prayer because we do believe in ending on time. Reverend Iona Smith Enzi, pastor of the Bethel AME Church here in Bridgeport, if she would come and close us in prayer. Again, thank you to all of you who have made today possible. Thank you again to all of our elected officials for joining us today. Thank you to our staff for keeping us organized. Lottie Dottie and everybody, thank you so much.
And while Reverend Enzi prepares to close us out in prayer, we're at 78. Keep it coming.
79. Ready?
Join me in prayer.
God of all people, open our hearts to understanding other faith traditions. May we who are all made in your image seek to know and follow your ways, to praise you and to be instruments of your holy presence, that we might all become ambassadors of goodwill for all people. May we respect those who are different from us in faith, color, and creed, and find sustenance in one another for the advocacy of mental health resources, the implementation of clean slate legislation, and the realization of political forgiveness, and the accomplishment of excellent academic preparation for Black and Brown children across Connecticut. May we seek to know the truth of your word and find common ground among the many faith traditions here this afternoon, and recognize that we share a common humanity. Help us to be people of compassion and action, understanding and creative solutions, creating a path to a peaceful coexistence among all people. It takes the courage of faith to be open-minded and not feel threatened by defeat. And we can feel challenged when we are confronted with questions that attempt to divide us according to class privilege, skin color privilege, inequities in healthcare and education, about our way of doing things. We can feel uncomfortable, God, about the misconceptions others have of our religious beliefs, but we will not allow these things to divide us against the greater good. Through dialogue and a willingness to understand, not change, evangelize, or proselytize, we pray we will open the door to the possibility of mutual respect and of the passage of all legislation pending, in order that we may coexist peacefully to build a better world. It will take action to build this kind of power. May the God of all of us hear our prayers. Amen.
Amen.
And connect, we are at 92. And we don't have to stop at 100. When you leave here, share that QR code with others in your congregations. Invite them to join. Share the power you experienced here today. Let's do this together.
Let's go in power and let's continue to be that pilot light. Yeah.
Please help yourselves to coffee and tea and cookies on the way.
Back. Yellow, top.